if you're watching this video when it comes out, it is Pride time. So we are going to talk about some books for Pride month, but they are great for any other month too. So my name is Britt. I use she, her, hers pronouns. Let's dive in. One of our staff members, Michaela, who you will see talking about some of her favorite queer books, made these amazing drag queen paper dolls. So you are going to be able, if you would like to print those for yourself, you can see the link in the description below. All right, so the first book that I want to talk about inspired this amazing outfit. And so the book is called Black Flamingo, and it's by Dean Atta, and it follows a biracial guy named Michael, and he does use he pronouns. And so Michael is half Jamaican, half Greek, and he's growing up in London, in poverty and without a father, essentially. So his father's family is still involved in his life, and he's very close to his uncle, but his actual bio dad is not around. So he's being raised by a single mom. And so the book sort of follows him as he starts to realize his sexuality, and then when he goes to university, he joins a drag queen club, and it's so freeing and eye-opening to him, and it's just really a beautiful book. It's an amazing coming of age tale. It's told in verse, so it's a really quick read. So for this Pride month, or for again literally any other month, check out Black Flamingo by Dean Atta.
Now, Felix is a 17-year-old trans boy living in New York City who wants nothing more than to be an artist and to get into a prestigious art program at Brown University. But Felix has a lot on his plate. When photos of his pre-transition show up on the internet along with his dead name, he has to deal with a slew of transphobic comments. All of it is just hitting at his identity and making him feel inadequate and less than, and he has to figure out what it means to be himself. All the while, he's dealing with the young love and young crushes that come with being a teenage boy. This book won the Stonewall Honor, which is an honor for LGBT representation in young adult novels. It's an excellent read, and I loved every single minute of it. It reminded me a lot of the kind of feeling I got when I read Simon versus the Homo Sapiens Agenda, especially since the element of being outed online was a big part of this book, and it ended up being a big part in Simon versus the Homo Sapiens Agenda. If you want to read more, read Felix Ever After by Kacen Callender.
Today I'm going to yell a little bit about a book called One Last Stop by McQuiston. And this book follows a young woman named August, who is an amateur detective that moves to Brooklyn, New York, and develops a crush on a woman named Jane, who she only sees on the subway, specifically the Q train. And it turns out that Jane is she's originally from 1970s Brooklyn and is essentially trapped on the Q train, kind of displaced in time. This book is a lovely, slow-ish burn romance. And something that I really love about it is the found family and community aspect of it. August moves into an apartment in Brooklyn with a bunch of roommates who are really likable and all very much themselves, and kind of learns over the course of the novel how lovely it is to have people in your life that you care about and that care about you, and how if you don't fall into that naturally because of where you're born or the kind of family you're born into, it is possible to find and create a community around yourself. So I really enjoyed it. I hope you guys will too. But a quick warning, this is a romance marketed towards older teens and young adults. And there is some adult content, so check your comfort levels before diving in.
Another recent favorite of mine, about a teenager who really finds themselves through drag, is Pumpkin by Julie Murphy. And so Pumpkin is a fat kid in a small town in Texas, and he just lives for RuPaul's Drag Race, right? And then ultimately, he decides to dip his toe into drag himself. But along the way, there is like a lot of prom drama, and relationship drama and drama. But yeah, so if you like a good coming of age story with some romance, and a lot of really fun side characters. Definitely check out Pumpkin by Julie Murphy. If it sounds familiar, it's because it's in the Dumplin' verse, which started with Dumplin' and then continued with Puddin' and is now finished with Pumpkin, but you can go straight to Pumpkin if you want to, although the other two books are great as well and you should check them out. So Pumpkin by Julie Murphy.
The Scapegracers by Hannah Abigail Clarke, a book about outcast teenage witch Sideways Pike, who has spent most of high school doing magic tricks under the bleachers for bottles of soda, but when the school's popular girls hire her to cast a spell at their annual Halloween party, Sideways gets swept up in their clique and for the first time accidentally kind of has friends. Sideways and her new coven stumble upon a more complex and dangerous world than they bargained for, and soon what was mostly harmless dabbling in magic becomes fraught with secret societies, insidious witch hunters, and Sideways not really knowing how to deal with this whole friendship thing. So that's kind of a quick rundown of the book. The thing that I love most about it, though, is definitely its elements of friendship. I love a friendship story, and I don't think many get as interesting and dynamic as this one. I think this book does friendship really well, especially the nastier and like harder parts of friendship. And I also really love an angry heroine, and Sideways and her friends capture like the particular feelings of female rage in a really compelling way. I also may be dating myself here, but this book feels kind of like The Craft or Heathers or Mean Girls, but instead of infighting, everybody is actually friends and you're rooting for their friendship the entire time. Just a quick note too before I sign off, this book is also the first in a trilogy, and the sequel, The Scratch Daughters, will come out later this fall. But yeah, if you're into a book with really dynamic friendship elements and angry teenage girls, check this one out. This one might be the one for you.